How's it, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Gridiron Bangers with me, Brayden, and my two boys over here, Bryson and Jake. Say hello to the audience.
That was it.
And as usual, another beginning of the week, start week 8, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on
Yeah.
that, but like usual, we'll be running through our predictions. As you saw last week, me and Jake are now tied at first, and Bryson's a little trying to catch up, as you'll see in today's picks. Everyone wish him best of luck because you'll see his picks. But yep, we'll start with the Thursday night game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills. I believe we're all on the same page for this one, so I'll throw this over to
Yeah.
Jake.
Yeah. Bills have dropped the last two. Obviously, we know that they're a good team, just really struggling, especially defensively. But this is going to be their rebound game. Fortunately for Tampa, they kind of cooled off a little bit since the bye. But yeah, no. Bills are at home. I feel like this is a pretty safe pick. Bills will bounce back. Keep things moving along. Yeah.
We'll all expect a bounce back game from the Bills. Just a tough week last week, but yeah, all on the same page for that one. Moving on to the next game, a little less consensus on this one. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, Throw this to Bryson over there since I know he wants to get his opinion out.
Yeah, no, I will be still not taking the Steelers. Going to be taking the Jags on this one. I think Jags have kind of figured things out in these last couple games. Look really good offensively. Trevor Lawrence been playing pretty well, and ETN looks really strong right now. Multiple games, multiple touchdowns. Kind of been the driving force of that offense. Been leading the way. So I think it carries over. And we just watched the Rams with two kind of essentially practice squad running backs put up like 140 rushing yards. So I definitely think this should be a good game running the ball for the Jags. And then we know what they can do in the passing game with Trevor Lawrence, Ridley, and Kirk. And, I still think Matt Canada is probably the worst offensive coordinator we've seen in a long time. And I definitely think Steelers still kind of pretenders right now, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I feel after last week, but yeah, no, I just unfortunately got to take the Jags. I don't hate the Steelers. I mean, you've seen the predictions. I had them almost every game. I want to say up until up until my matchup. So as much as I would like them, because I do like Kenny Pickett. I've always been high on Kenny Pickett. Even though we just lost them, I still got I can't be fake on that. Still got to be true to my original opinion. But yeah, just the Jags look pretty strong right now. Definitely, um, I think sleepers in the AFC. Obviously, the Chiefs are kind of dominating, but I definitely think the Jags could make a run.
Go to you, Jake, since you got a similar opinion on this game.
I mean, I like what the Steelers did last week, obviously, because I was in the wrong. I chose the Rams. They looked a little bit better, especially with Deontay Johnson back. The offense looks like they're improving after that bye week. But I'm in the same boat as Bryson with the Jags. Especially me. I love Doug Peterson. Like they're one of the teams I'm not gonna pick against them a lot of times. Part of that is because I think they're a good team, but I also just love and miss Doug Peterson of the Eagles. So yeah, I think they're playing great football right now, and obviously I think that they can make a run as well. This is definitely a good year for them. I think they're they've been kind of building up steam right about now. Beat the Bills and then they beat last week. The Bills, Colts, forgot who they beat last week, but
Saints.
I guess
Oh, Saints.
yeah,
Saints last week.
Saints. So I mean, I think they're playing good football right now. I think this will probably be a pretty close game. Jags defense is still figuring things out, but yeah, sorry, I like the Jags.
Understandable. Yeah, coming into this week, seeing that we played the Jaguars, I knew I was going to be the lone pick on my team again. Fine with that. Like being the underdogs, even though we're 4-2 and had the hardest stretch of our schedule probably to begin the season. But yeah, it's gonna be another tough game. A little worried about Etienne. Like Bryson said, the Rams running backs had a good amount of success against us, and they were, no offense, kind of no names guys picked up off the street the week of. But I like what our rookies are doing. Keanu Benton at the D tackle, I think he's making improvements, and Joey Porter Jr. just keeps showing why he should be starting. Yeah, so I really like our defense against them. I think Jaguars are still trying to figure out offense. They seem to start kind of fast and then kind of die out toward the second half, in my opinion, or they just find a slump in the middle of the game when they should be keeping their foot on the gas and pressing that lead further. But like Pittsburgh's odds, we're back at home after the bye week. Like I said, we've offense statistically just gets better after the bye week, especially after last season. We saw a huge jump, and I really like what Kenny Pickett did last week. Not really any throws that I had questionable that he kind of threw into places that should have been picked or might have been picked or was picked. I felt like we had a better control, and especially how Najee Harris has been running. Nothing too fantastic, but I felt like he's doing a lot better these weeks, especially last week. Just looked a little faster, looked like he was playing with a little bit more heart, and Jalen Warren's been pretty much great for us this whole season. And yeah, just having Deontay back, I kind of felt his impact last week with the big catch at the end of the game to really kind of get the momentum going and put us in that kind of field goal range, even though we didn't kick the field goal. If we did, it would have definitely. Boswell's been money recently. I'll knock on wood for that. I don't trust kickers like that, but I love Boswell. But yeah, um, gotta give it credit. I think it's a real close game, but TJ Watt didn't make a huge play last week besides the pick. I expect him to come back with 2 sacks like he usually does this season. So, yeah, those sacks usually come in crunch time. So
A pick is a
I'm
big play.
excited.
I know what you're talking about.
The pick is a big play, but it was like after the second half. It wasn't a pick. My TJ makes plays in the fourth quarter when we need it
All right.
most, and because the Rams never got the ball back, we never got to see it. So you just heard his stat line. Get a stop so TJ can get 2 sacks, please. He's on the road to 30. Still believe. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. All right, all right.
All right, he's falling off that pace now, but still break the record. Deep play, but yeah, conversation for next,
Yeah.
probably in the upcoming weeks on that. But yeah, that kind of wraps up our opinion for that game. We'll move to the next one. It's a divisional game between the Patriots at the Miami Dolphins. I believe we're consensus in this one. I'll take this one. I mean, yeah, Dolphins lost to the Eagles last week. It was still a pretty close game. Eagles got a tough defense, and I think the Dolphins like to just run the ball, kind of based off of the Shanahan tree. So kind of similar offenses where they need that run game going, and I never got it going against the Eagles. But against the Patriots, I feel like that's going to be a different story, and we kind of seen what they do against lesser teams, and they just show that they dominate, and Tyreek is just still on a crazy pace, so I don't see anything stopping them, at least this week with the Patriots. Had a great week last week beating the Bills, definitely an upset none of us saw coming, got their offensive going, but still, I think 2 weeks in a row is going to be a tough challenge for Bill Belichick and the Patriots, but yeah, Dolphins come out with the dub at home. Moving to the next game, we got the Battle of New York. Got the Jets and the Giants. Another game that actually the second game on the list that we do not have a consensus for because of one man trying to catch up in the race. So I'll give it over to you, Bryson.
Yeah, definitely. The thought process here is I need to just start making some screw it picks to kind of catch up in the prediction race. But I'm also thinking that in the games that Zach Wilson has looked good and kind of played well at QB has been against other elite quarterbacks. Sorry, not other, against elite quarterbacks. He's definitely not an elite quarterback by all means. Um, Obviously, all the talk about he outplayed Mahomes, he outplayed Hurts, and just kind of the narrative of like, yeah, even though I think they lost that one game, but he still outplayed at QB play, and then obviously they beat the Eagles. Uh, I don't think this is going to be that type of game. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor is not an elite quarterback by all means. I mean, he's definitely been playing pretty well in his time in, playing a lot better than Daniel Jones has for sure. And we just watched the Giants, you know, up against in that Bills matchup. Definitely, I'm sorry, not Bills matchup. Who did they just play?
Washington.
Washington. Yeah, I think a lot of people had Washington winning that one, but uh, they played well, and I think this is a good game where the narrative is kind of the Jets should dominate, and it should be an easy game for them. And because of that, I think Zach Wilson is not going to play great. So it's kind of just a combination of I need a screw it pick, and also I feel like this is a good chance for Wilson to go back to his old ways now that he's not up against a good quarterback. So kind of seems to be the reoccurring theme is he only plays well against good quarterbacks. So this is a game where I think he's gonna regress a little bit. But yeah, mainly just a screw it pick because I need to catch up. And at this point, if I get it
A lot
wrong,
of those this week.
oh well. If I get it wrong, oh well. I'm still down. But if I get it right, I'll be that much closer.
Love the mentality.
I mean, it's not a bad game to pick. This could be an ugly game, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I definitely think so.
Yeah. I got the Jets. Their defense has just been looking very elite, especially what they've done against quarterbacks in the last few weeks. They've been going up against some really tough matchups at quarterbacks, and none of them kind of looked like themselves against the Jets. And Tyrod Taylor, I like Tyrod Taylor. I still have Daniel Jones over him. Tyrod is just a great game manager, in my opinion. Doesn't take the deep shots, but won't kill you
I don't
with
know about that.
interceptions.
I don't know. He threw that deep ball. I'm saying he's
He's
launching
very
it.
calculated.
I'm just
He's
kidding.
not that. He's not going to take too many. But yeah,
I know.
I don't see him making too many mistakes, but I still don't see them moving the ball as efficiently as they kind of have in the last few games. So, I've had the Jets. I think they're going to definitely try and run that ball with Brees Hall now that they're starting to feed him a lot more. And I don't know, Brees looks like one of the better running backs in the league, in my opinion, especially coming off that injury. Questions, but I think he's looking like old Brees Hall, and I think he's going to have a big game, which is going to be a little bit too much for the Giants to keep up with. And Zach Wilson just don't throw two or more interceptions, and I think we're okay. Got anything, Jake, on this game? Or
I mean, shoot. I think you kind of covered everything. Like, they just got to rely on Brees Hall and Zach Wilson just not turning the ball over, honestly. Giants, I think, like I said, this could be an ugly game because Zach Wilson versus Tyrod Taylor. So, I mean, I don't think you're going to expect fireworks from this one. Could be just a defensive game. Not that the Giants defense is like a top unit, but Zach Wilson running the offense, so that's why I think you could see them playing the Jets tough. But I do like the Jets talent right now, at least, especially the defensive side. Them maybe picking up some turnovers for them. So yeah, taking the Jets too.
good luck to Bryson on that pick, though he doesn't really believe in them too much. But yeah, moving on to our next game, we got the Falcons at the Tennessee Titans. I believe we have a separate opinion on this one. I'll start this one out. I got the Titans winning this. Be a little bit of a spite pick because of what the Falcons did to Bijan, but Yeah, I like the Titans coming off of a bye at home. I feel like this game's gonna get really ugly. Like I said, I like Tennessee in ugly games. I think Derrick Henry might have a day. I'm not too confident in that Atlanta Falcons front seven to really stop that if they really start feeding the ball to Henry, which the Titans' usual game plan is that. And for the Falcons, feel like they're really struggling still to use their playmakers and get them involved. So I got the Tennessee Titans winning at home, probably by a field goal, my guess, but should be a close one.
Bryson took the Titans too. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm on the Titans train. I'm on the
Yeah,
Derrick
I'm
Henry
the
train.
only. And Derrick Henry train. What if we ain't there? That's good. Nah, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm taking the Falcons. They've been playing good football. Desmond Ritter's been playing good, not great. In the last 3 weeks, they've been trusting him to throw the ball a lot more. I know he had 3 interceptions the other week, but outside of that, he's been actually playing a lot better. As you can see, John Smith and Kyle Pitts is getting the ball, so I mean, that shows you something. But honestly, I think Titans are going to be. They're definitely sellers, obviously with the Kevin Byard trade, but I think most of the players will be there for this game. I don't know. I don't trust that Titans offense. Yes, they have Derrick Henry, but I think I like the Falcons defense. They're pretty solid. I think they got some solid pieces all around on every level. So kind of like them as a stingy defense. So it comes down to Titans quarterback, which they don't even know who's. Well, they know who's playing. They said both of them are playing. So I don't trust that. I think they'll take advantage of this, and I think the Falcons offense will have no problem scoring on the Titans defense. Not that there's some juggernaut, obviously, but I feel pretty confident that they can score in this one. Take the lead and kind of just do what the Titans normally do to other teams. Just kind of be physical with them. I think they'll do the same thing back to them. Oh, and
Um,
Bijan, I think Bijan will play, or at least not be as limited as last time.
he should be fine. I think it was just a cold that he caught that day that put him down for a little bit. That made him feel out of it, but yeah. And Kyle Pitts only got used because Bijan didn't. Out of their big three, someone's got to be unused.
That
So
is right.
Kyle Pitts got
Somebody's not
lucky.
going to be.
Kyle Pitts will be back on the bench pretty much, or just running to run for conditioning. But yeah, that should be a good game. Not the best teams, but it should be definitely a close game. We're all expecting. But moving on to the next game, we got the Texans and the Panthers in Carolina. I believe we're all on the same page for this one, so throw this one over to you, Bryson.
Yeah, I think I speak for everybody when I say I think we all like CJ Stroud and what he's been doing so far. I think we're all pretty. I mean, if you like football, you like what the Texans have been able to do. Obviously, as an organization, after Deshaun Watson, even with Deshaun Watson, they had their struggles. They definitely had a few playoff appearances. Didn't really make much of it, but after him, kind of just have been irrelevant, rebuilding, kind of filling the pieces where they can. Haven't really looked the same since Watson and DeAndre Hopkins, and haven't really had big name players, big name plays. Um, had that short little stint with Davis Mills, and then that kind of ended and got quiet again. And yeah, they've just kind of been irrelevant for pretty much the last few years. But as a Texans fan and as a football fan, it's great watching them being able to play the football they're playing. I definitely, as I've been saying, C.J. Stroud is for sure the best quarterback to come out of this draft class, um, and is arguably right up there with last year's class too. Been playing great. Obviously, he gave up that interception. Definitely, the record-breaking streak of how many games, how many starts without a pick. But still playing great, playing really clean. Got a lot of guys, young talent around him to kind of help him out. Nico Collins, Tank Dell. So future's bright for them, and it's good to watch them. Oh, and Damian Pierce, I like him as well. Uh, Definitely a pretty hard running back. Running back, he's a great watching him in football. If you watch his highlights, he runs like a man on a mission. So defense is definitely questionable. Still got a lot of things to figure out defensively. I think most of the games they lost, just kind of defense kind of gave up the game. Wasn't really on Stroud's shoulders. I mean, you can only do so much. You lead your team to a leading touchdown, and then defense gives up, you know, field goal range, and you lose by a field goal. That Falcons game was tough. I definitely think they should have won that one. But yeah, Panthers, kind of an exact opposite. Bryce Young, obviously first pick of the draft, not been playing up to expectations, or maybe has been playing up to expectation. I know maybe some people, I've been seeing a lot of people haven't really been high on him. They weren't really high on him. He's definitely a smaller quarterback. Doesn't have a lot of talent to go around him. I mean, Adam Thielen's been going crazy, but just because he's the only target on that team. But yeah, kind of an exact mirror opposite of the Texans, where they don't got a whole lot going, even with the young talent, but really after they gave up all those picks to get Young, they didn't really get much out of it in the rest of that draft, and kind of didn't really give him anything to work with. So when Adam Thielen is your receiver one, it's going to be hard to win games. Not that, I don't know, my personal opinion of Adam Thielen might be different than some other people. I know Jake knows how I feel about Thielen. So we'll have that conversation another day about Adam Thielen. But yeah, their defense is definitely going to give up a lot of points to Stroud, and I don't think this one's going to be close. I think just Young and Thielen might put up good numbers in garbage time, but that's about it.
We're all on the same page for this one. Maybe not on Thielen, but same page for the rest of it.
Yeah, I'll exclude y'all from the Thielen opinion because I feel some type of way about Adam Thielen, but
I don't want any part of that Adam Thielen one. Yeah, well, another time.
I mean, clearly he's doing well enough to be putting up the numbers he's putting up.
Yeah, it's easy when you're the only really option there.
But yeah, he's really the only target on that team.
Yeah. But yeah, we all got Texans. Hard to go for an 0-6 team. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they get a win this year.
They gotta get one.
They gotta get one down. They're not.
We almost thought it was going to be the Cardinals, but now look who it is.
Maybe.
Always a.
Yeah, you know what? They're gonna beat Kyler Murray when he comes back. Watch.
I wish he does. I hope he doesn't come back. I don't want him to.
I want him. I need a quarterback in our fantasy league, and I'm waiting for him. But yeah. Yeah, that kind of wraps up our opinion for that game. Moving on to the next one, we got another divisional game. We got the Vikings versus the Packers in Green Bay. So yeah, I think we're got some different opinions on this one.
We do?
Game that we don't have a consensus. I believe so, right?
Oh, did he pick? He picked. I can't remember.
It's coming back to me.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Bryson took so many picks just to throw us off, but
yeah,
you can start us off, Bryson.
Sure, I'll start us off. As much as I don't want to pick the Packers, this is another kind of a screw it game. Also, kind of the thought process is I think Vikings kind of scraped away with one last week. Niners definitely, arguably, should have won that game, especially going into it. I don't think anybody expected the Vikings to win. But I think the Packers just have a chance to kind of divisional matchup at home, figure things out. They've been kind of struggling. They play well offensively when they're, they start off slow, second half, they're down, they come back. The offense seems to kind of figure things out, playing for behind, but you can only do so much when you're playing, down and behind. They get close to coming back, and then they lose it in the end. So I think if this game, all they need to do is just get some consistency early on instead of figure it out early instead of figuring it out at the end. So I definitely think this is that game. This, there's a chance they could do it, especially against the Vikings with, kind of the struggles the Vikings have been having. I think they finally looked pretty decent overall as a team last week. But I don't know. This is just one game. Like I said, screw it. I feel like the Vikings could fumble this one. My real opinion is probably the Vikings win, but just gotta. What I think the toss-up games could be, I gotta take the toss. So
Yeah, I think we know. We know why you're going against the grain on this one. Vikings winning against the Niners, definitely like that one. I give a lot of props to Brian Flores, just making use of that defense from all the just scraps that they got, and they don't have a lot of pieces, obviously. I think even going to the season, we all knew that, or we all thought they were probably going to be bottom of the barrel, but it looks like they're at least average defense, and that's due to him just either blitzing 6 or just dropping back 8 and rushing 3, just mixing that up, and pretty much what they did to Brock Purdy on Monday night. So they could do the same thing to the Packers, and this is Jordan Love here. Definitely still raw and learning. Then again, it's a division game, so who knows? Maybe almost said Shanahan. Sorry. LaFleur might just scheme it for him, make things easier on him, just run the ball because, like I said, they don't have the talent, right? Which is what pretty much the good teams did. They just ran the ball on them, knowing that they ain't gonna stop it. But I think they'll be able to get the better of the Packers, especially the way Kirk Cousins looked. Don't think that Packers can stop that. And this is not going to be prime time, so I don't got to worry about him curling into a ball or anything. But I think I like the Vikings in this one.
Hey, he's been doing good in primetime this season, I feel like. He's been doing
He
great all
has.
season.
He has. I'll give him that. The 2 so far.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. We'll check on this. I got the Vikings in 2 words. Make this simple for why I think the Vikings are going to win. And that's Kirk Cochains. Just been killing it this season, and I think the only bad game he had was last week when they were just figuring out their offense last week without Justin Jefferson. The first week with him gone. But I've been a Jordan Addison fan. He looked really good last week against the Niners. Kind of did give up that pick, but definitely made up for it on the second one. So I expect them Kirk Cousins just to keep leading that offense and figuring it out, and their defense doing enough. But yeah, Packers should be a good game. I like what the Packers have been doing this season. They're kind of not really too consistent, so it's kind of hard to tell what they're going to look like. I feel like Jordan Love's a middle of the pack quarterback. Will have a decent day against this defense, but I'll bet on the better quarterback this week. Yeah, should be a good game. Definitely another division one. Go. Yeah. Move on to the next one. We got the New Orleans Saints at the Indianapolis Colts. Feel
We
like
all.
we have a disagreement with this one as well.
Yeah. Never mind. You chose Saints, right?
Well, I guess I'll start it off since I'm the oddball this week. I'm gonna take the Saints. I know we've been picking against them every week. Kind of been right most of the weeks, but I really like what the Saints have. I think their offense definitely has a lot of weapons that could overwhelm the Colts. I know the Colts just came off a great game against the Browns. Sadly, didn't come out with the win, but definitely Gardner Minshew played a lot better than a lot of us thought, and pretty much was there until the end of the game. Defense for the Colts looked great. Almost had that goal line stop. Got it down to the last play and just Kareem Hunt ran it in. But I've liked what the Saints have been doing. They looked really good against the Jaguars, even though they couldn't come out with the win. Fostermo, if he caught it, probably would have been a different story, but it is what it is. But I think Derek Carr's been playing well. I know he's been getting banged up, but he's just one of those quarterbacks that just played through it. Hey, he's a winner. That's all I gotta say. He looks good. Not your top quarterback, but I think he's better than what a lot of people give him credit for. He's still learning this offense. I think as the weeks go on, he'll still continue to look a little bit better each week. I know Chris Olave just got with that speeding news and everything, but with or without Chris Olave, I still got the Saints winning this one, even though I feel more confident with Olave back. Which of y'all want to take this one for the Colts?
You want this one, Bryson? Or you want me to take it to this one?
I've gone a few in a row. You can take it.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
a little rough on a lot of them.
All right. No. I think if they weren't playing the Colts and playing a little bit lesser team, if I would have taken them, I think the Saints. I'm not. I don't know if it was rock bottom for them last week, but obviously it was on prime time. It looked that way, just being the only game on TV that day. So they're definitely bound for a bounce back. I don't know. I don't like it against the Colts. Like you said, I think we all kind of just wrote off that the Colts weren't going to be as competitive, but I think it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. Gardner Minshew's talented enough, and he knows the offense. Shane Steichen's a great play caller, so I think a lot of that just plays into them still being competitive without Anthony Richardson. And the Saints team, like I said, as much as I would want to pick the Saints, one of these games, like I think the Saints are susceptible to getting burnt in this one. Gardner Minshew, Josh Downs, Zach Moss, Jonathan Taylor, I think they're all playing good. I think they have a recipe and an identity that they definitely want to execute. So picking the Colts in this one, definitely like them and going against the Saints. Sorry, Isaiah, again.
Sorry, Zay.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Zay, on this one. You got 11 days. You guys better come out ready. Yeah, definitely should be another good game. A lot of good games this week on the slate. Should be a lot of close ones. Including that one. I don't think the next one's gonna be close, but one of us disagree with that statement. But yeah, we'll go to the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. Uh, I'll throw it to our native Eagles fan, Jake. Start us off.
Yeah, first off, Kevin Byard trade, loved it. And that was just another fleece, or we're just getting donations from Tennessee at this point. So love that. I don't know if he's gonna be how much he'll be playing obviously on Sunday since he just got there. So we'll see. But yeah, obviously Eagles are more talented. They proved against the Dolphins, even though I'm not saying us. I mean, national media was saying Dolphins was just gonna run past this team. I thought it was gonna be more high scoring, but that defense, yeah, I'm gonna keep hammering on the defense because that defense is really really looking good, and they're figuring things out, which is basically my main talking point for this game. Last time, obviously, Washington took this game down to the wire, went to overtime, right? I don't think it's gonna be the case this time. I think since then, they've been kind of buckling down. I know they've had, you know, uh, getting hit with the injury bug, especially in the secondary. But as you've seen with this Miami game, or even against the Rams, they were able to hold both offenses, great offenses. Great offensive play callers. They've been able to hold them to, or at least the Rams. I know they didn't score uh, after halftime, but then the Dolphins, I don't think I can't remember if they scored after halftime or not, but basically they only scored 10 points the whole game, right? So definitely like the defense stepping up. I think our offense will continue to do what they've been doing, just slowly draining the life out of the defense. Just draining the clock out. And I know I didn't give them a lot of credit the last game, but they played a really good game. So it's gonna be a Devontae Smith game, calling it. They're gonna give it to him. He's feeling a little bit left out. So I think the Eagles win this game. I'm not gonna say comfortably, but they'll win this one.
Well, I guess I'll give my spiel since I'm going to be the odd man out here. Another one of those kind of screw it games. But just looking at the Eagles' track record, we know they give up a game to the Commanders, and they almost gave it a few weeks ago to them. Obviously, they scraped away with a win in that one, so I think they're due for a loss here, just because they always give one to the Commanders. So they unfortunately decided to wait until week 8 to take it from them. But I think if you're looking at it, you'd rather take it this week than that week, especially with how close it was in overtime. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like Jake said, I think earlier this season, he says we always give up one to the Commanders. So just using Jake's own words against him, I'm taking the Commanders on this one.
All right.
Respectable pick. I would just say sorry, Jonathan Allen. Your feelings are gonna continue for another week of
Another
losing.
year.
So yeah. But yeah, it should be, at least track record wise, it should be a close game, even though it might not look like it on paper. But divisional battles can get weird. But yeah, would be a fun one to watch, hopefully. But let's move to a game where Bryson can be more confident in his pick rather than just saying screw it. We'll move to the LA Rams versus the Dallas Cowboys. We can start with you, Bryson.
Well, this is a combination of my team and a little bit of screw it and a little bit of just distaste for the Cowboys. Uh, as much as I feel like I should be picking the Cowboys here, um, I'm just gonna bet on my team. Tough loss last week, uh, even though I thought we looked pretty decent. I still think we have a good chance. I mean, we know what the Cowboys defense can do, um, but I think this should be an interesting one. Should be a good game. Um, I do like the fact that it is in Dallas instead of in LA. I kind of feel like Dallas just, for some reason, I feel like is more adept to giving up these home games than they would if they were away. So, yeah, just got to bet on my team. Kind of one of those where I feel like it's a must win this week, just for the rest of our schedule looks like, and if we for playoff hopes. Um, so I think we're going to see a lot of big plays from big name players, Cup, Puka, Aaron Donald. I think we're going to see these guys step up this week and get the job done. Stafford, I think he'll have a good day. As long as the line can kind of make it manageable for Micah Parsons, I think we'll give up maybe at least one sack to him. It's just hopefully leaving it to just one, two at most. But I don't know. We always give up sacks no matter what. It's just for some reason it's not going to surprise me that we're going to give up at least two sacks, whether it's both to Parsons or one to Parsons, one to someone else. I don't know, but yeah, just got a bet on my team. Another one of those kind of 80% my team, 20% screw it. So
Gotta have faith in your team.
I don't blame you. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want your team to win, obviously. I want the Cowboys to win. But just looking at it, same thing with the Chargers one. I got to go with what I think is the better team. Frozen? Sorry. I'll just continue.
just keep going.
Yeah, I'm
He
sorry.
does that sometimes.
It threw me off. But yeah, look at the team. Dallas is
Just
the
keep
more
going. He'll join back.
yeah, he's the more complete team. They're a more complete team, obviously. I do think it's going to be a little bit more higher scoring. You guys are going to definitely get yours. And I think Dallas will definitely get theirs, whether it's just running the ball or if Dak just plays decent enough football, good enough, right, which is what they need. Yeah, I'm picking the Cowboys as much as it pains me. Please prove me wrong. I'll gladly take the L in this one.
My laptop died. Sorry about that. I thought I had it plugged in, but looks like you guys kept going. But yeah, sounds like I'm in the same boat as Jake. I would like to be wrong on this one, but on paper it just looks like the Cowboys are the better team. I mean, the Rams. I really like what the Rams have been doing this season. Just unfortunate last week they played a real good team, just a true contender, and I mean, that's what happens when you play contenders like that. They just show out in the big moments. But I like what Puka and Cooper Cup has been doing. Stop laughing, Jake. I can't. Well, I like what Puka and Cooper Cup have been doing. I mean, what they did against us was just get the ball out quick, neutralize kind of that pass rush that we had, and I think they're kind of going to have that same mentality against the Cowboys. I still see them having success on offense. The running game, Dallas is going to be better against it, and I think that might be the big thing that really sets it apart in this game. And I don't know how much they'll be able to stop Dallas's running game. I know they're still trying to haven't been the best. I think they just came off of a bye, so I feel like they're gonna get that a little bit going, better than it has been in the last few weeks. So I would like to be wrong, but I think that Dallas just has too much talent to let this game go at home. Yeah. Um, Move on to the next game. We got the Cleveland Browns at the Seattle Seahawks.
We
We'll
all in
start.
agreement on this?
What was that?
Are we all in agreement on this one? I really don't remember.
No, no.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Oh. I'll start since we keep getting Bryson to start since he's being the odd man, but give him a break. I got the Seahawks partially just because I want the Browns to lose, so I want a win-win here. But Browns have been playing. Browns had been playing great recently. Their defense kind of gave up a few plays last week that we haven't really seen throughout the season. Colts definitely found success against them, but Miles Garrett just had himself a day. But I don't see that happening this week. I feel like the defense is going to have another breakdown, and Garrett won't have pretty much like a two forced fumble day with the block field goal to win, pretty much win them the game. Seattle has a lot of weapons on offense. Still got if DK comes back, I think he should be healthy. I'm not too sure what the injury was, but they still got Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith Njigba and our favorite here on the show, Jake Bobo. So I like what they can do in the passing attack, and they still got Kenneth Walker, who been looking good this season. Even though this is going to be a tougher matchup for him, I still think he'll get some kind of a run game going for them to be sustainable. And on that defense for Seattle, I still think they're pretty solid. They got a lot of young talent, and Deshaun Watson has been making a lot of mistakes recently, and I can see that happening again this week with him throwing a pick or two. And I know he's trying to play through that injury, so who knows if he'll last through the game again. Might see Walker one more time. But, yeah.
Well, I agree with everything you just said. So not much to say here on this one. Just a screw it game,
All right.
plain
Well,
and simple.
really hope you're not right on this one. But well, all right, that makes it easy. We can move on to the next game. This one, I believe, we're all in consensus. Tell me if I'm wrong, Bryson, but we got the Baltimore Ravens at the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, no, we're in consensus.
I'm gonna throw this to Jake because I don't want to talk good about the Ravens.
Yeah, I know you don't. They've been playing good football. They beat three great teams. Good, great, whatever you want to call it. But three great defenses, I would say, in blanking out already the teams. Sorry, the Browns, Bengals. That was one more on Lions. There we go. They beat three good teams, three great defenses, I would say. And Lamar's just having a great year. I mean, took a while maybe to get the offense going or just to getting everybody on the same page, but it looks like they're clicking. Um, Lamar is definitely in that MVP race, so I don't got much on this. Cardinals are one of the I don't want to say worst teams. They're at the bottom, when it comes to So not much for me to say this. They might just finish this game at halftime and roll
I think it'll
Minnesota
be a
win.
good first half, and then the Cardinals will just suck in the second half.
Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it to the Cardinals. They are normally always competitive, so shouldn't take that away from them.
In the first half.
Yes,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't. Yeah, we're on consensus, so I don't got much.
Yeah, this is looking like one of the least competitive games on the schedule, so not much to say about this game. Another game I think we all have a consensus on. We got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos. Consensus, okay. Just gotta
Yeah,
double check with Bryson with his screw it picks. I'll take this one. Another divisional game, but Chiefs have. I mean, as long as they got Mahomes and Kels, their offense has been looking elite. Pretty much. I think they need receiver help, but looks like they really don't with them too. We still got Rasheed Rice. He's been looking a lot better. Still developing as a rookie, but definitely getting involved more in that offense. And Chiefs defense have been pretty much solid. Wouldn't say top of the league, but definitely closer to that maybe 10 mark, maybe a little bit lower. But yeah, I like what the Chiefs have been doing. They're the Chiefs, and we're all expecting them to be Super Bowl contenders. So we know what they are. Broncos last week they played a lot better in my opinion, but still a lot of struggles on that offense. Russell Wilson hasn't been playing the greatest. Still not the worst, but definitely not a game where he's going to outperform Patrick Mahomes. And on the flip side, Broncos defense, I think a surprise to a lot of us, just has not been performing to the level that we all assumed. With all the talent they have, in my opinion, Surtain has been the only one that's been pretty much good on that defense from what I've saw, but just outshined with the rest of them how badly they've been playing. And maybe it gets weird if it's a divisional game, but gotta go with the favorites here, and Chiefs. Yeah. That wraps up that game. Moving to the next game. I'm gonna assume this is gonna be the game of the week. We got the Cincinnati Bengals at the San Francisco 49ers. Who wants to start this one off?
Pretty sure you guys have Niners, correct? Well,
yeah,
looks like I'm going to be the odd man out here. It's going to be a combination of my distaste for the 49ers, a little bit of a screw it, and a little bit of betting on Burrow and Chase. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I kind of am leaning towards the 49ers not losing three in a row, but I also would just love for it to happen. And uh, yeah, I think the Bengals just kind of, I don't know, I think this is right in that kind of mid season where we've seen they start to make, where they struggle early on and then they start to make those pushes. So I think it starts here. So a little bit of combination of that, and I think going into it, I would rather pick the 49ers, but just make it another toss up, another screw it game. So
Gotta have faith in some of your picks.
this is why I respect the picks. But yeah, I I would love for the Bengals to win. Another one where I hope the Niners lose and I hope we're wrong. But yeah, like you said, Niners losing three in a row, I can't see that happening. Same with the Bills, right? Can't see that happening. So I gotta go with the Niners. I think Bengals defensive coordinator Coach Lou Anarumo. Can't remember his name already. Coach Lou is all I remember. I think it'll be another game, maybe not similar to the Vikings game, but I think it could give the Niners and Brock Purdy some rubs. But yeah, Niners. I think Niners are gonna win this one. They still have that defense, right? Still gonna get after Joe Burrow, who's not not 100% healthy. I don't think this bye week was gonna do that for him, but yeah, he might just be running for his life again. Hope I'm wrong though.
Yeah, kind of agree with both of them. I do see the Bengals kind of turning it around, especially soon coming off that bye week. I probably would have picked the Bengals if the Niners didn't lose two in a row.
Yeah,
Definitely falling out of that first place seed, even though they got lucky and the Lions lost, but Eagles still got one loss on the season, so they're holding first. I know that's probably their goal to get that first seed back. So I expect them to come out hard and start off strong. Another week, hopefully Christian McCaffrey's better for them because our what makes that offense seems like it goes. But yeah, Niners just gotta stay healthy. They've been starting to deal with their injuries like they do every year. Hopefully, doesn't seem like too many ACLs this year like they've had in the past.
knock on wood.
But
No,
I
don't
don't knock
knock
on
on wood.
wood. Yeah, we don't need to knock on wood for that one. But should be a good game. Expect this to be a close one. But yeah, that pass rush from the 49ers, I think, will get Burrow a couple times and enough times to get him not in back fully in his game. But who knows? These Niners games have been getting weird these last few weeks. So
That's true.
should be a good one. My guess is going to be game of the week. Might be another one or two, but definitely should be a good one. Well, yeah. So our reactions for that. Moving on to the next one. I think we're all on the same page for this one. I remember we got the Chicago Bears at the LA Chargers.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We're gonna take this one. Chargers offense still have been looking really good. Just really bad timing on some of their plays and just tough losses by them. But I mean, I don't really have much good things to say about the Chargers, but there's plenty of bad things to say about the Bears. Still can barely name you their starting QB that they're starting this week, but yeah, kind of. I don't know. I'm just kind of picking the Chargers because how bad the Bears are at this point.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. The Bears are bad. I beat the Raiders with a back quarterback. Obviously, yeah, both the backups, but yeah, no, I don't. Well, we made that post, so the Chargers are gonna win. They're gonna
Yeah,
go
that's
on a
why I
roll.
think they're
You know,
winning. Is just because Jake put that post in.
Oh, yeah, Keenan Allen's been having a season, and I expect Austin Eckler to bounce back. I know he's been kind of disappointing, especially if you have him in fantasy. Not part of that crew, but been looking to target him in trades because of that. But expect to bounce back, especially for Eckler, because they're going to have a lot of time for them to run the ball this game. Yeah, tough Sunday night game. Yeah. Yeah, that wraps us up for at least the Sunday slate. And moving on to the final game of the schedule, Monday Night Football. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Detroit Lions. Pretty sure we're all unanimous on this one, so throw it to our
yeah.
Lions fan Bryson over there.
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, definitely, obviously, I'm sure a lot of people were a little concerned after last week with the Lions. I mean, very out of character for them to just get beat down like that. Definitely expected it to be, at least somewhat of a close game. Um, really just struggled. I mean, obviously, we've seen what they're capable of, we know what they can do. I know Montgomery was out, but it wasn't like the running game wasn't really working for them. We saw Jameer Gibbs have a pretty decent day. Um, obviously, that kind of he benefited from Montgomery being out, so I definitely got to see flashes of Jameer Gibbs. Um, yeah, just kind of a weird, out of character game for them. Um, didn't really generate a lot of pressure against Lamar, and might have just been Lamar just kind of getting back into his MVP form and kind of showing the level of elite quarterback play that he can produce. But I think this is a good bounce back game for them. Definitely a favorable matchup. the Raiders. Haven't really been tracking the Jimmy G Garoppolo injury. I'm pretty sure he's still going to be out. So whether it's O'Connell or whoever the other guy was, can't remember his name.
Brian Hoyer.
Hoyer, yeah, Hoyer. Whether it's Hoyer or O'Connell, I think this defense. I think they're definitely feeling the loss last week, and they're gonna bounce back. Kind of a hey, we just got beat down, so let's kind of obviously it's not a revenge game, but they're definitely looking to come back and prove that they're still top three in the NFC right there, or top three, top four, obviously. There's still a few other teams in the NFC that are kind of fighting for that spot, but I definitely think they're right there, especially with this Niners loss. They're obviously right behind the Eagles. But yeah, hopefully Jared Goff will have a much better game than he did. Kind of, yeah, the whole team just struggled as a whole, other than Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, he finally looked relevant. But I think Montgomery's looking to be back this week, so we'll see how that plays out. Because after the first injury, he came back and immediately stole all the reps again from Gibbs. So we could see just a repeat of that. I don't know if I think it'll depend on how that injury actually impacts him. If it needs to be something where they manage his reps. But yeah, they definitely missed him last week, having him in those power. Definitely, he's much better in the trenches than Gibbs. But yeah, I think this is just a favorable matchup for them. Kind of hard to bet on the Raiders in this situation.
Yeah, totally agree. Kind of disappointing primetime games this week. Looks like they're not going to be too competitive, but at least that's Sunday day. During the day, we've got some good matchups going, but yeah, that's going to wrap up our week 8 predictions. But yeah, if you like that video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and then until next time, we'll catch you all later. Toots.
Huge.